Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling a topic that touches, well, nearly every one of us. Mindful parenting. Whether you're a parent, have parents, or just interact with kids. You've shared some really fantastic sources with us, articles, guides, all packed with practical techniques. Our mission today, cut through the noise, find the core insights, and give you a shortcut to understanding how mindfulness can genuinely transform family dynamics.
Exactly. We're going to explore what mindful parenting truly means, beyond the buzzwords. We'll uncover some surprising facts about how our brains react in those stressful moments, and we'll discover actionable strategies you can use right away. Think of it like a toolkit, for navigating the beautiful, messy, often chaotic world of raising children with more calm and connection.
Okay, let's dive in. So to kick us off, mindful parenting, we hear that phrase a lot. What does it really mean beyond just being like a trendy concept?
Yeah, good question. It's definitely not about being this perfect, always calm Zen figure. I think that's a big misconception. Instead, it's about bringing a non-judgmental, present moment awareness to your interactions with your child. It's really the practice of paying attention, intentionally, to the present moment, to your child, and also, crucially, to yourself without that layer of judgment.
Okay, so awareness without judgment.
Precisely. And this shift, this change in perspective, it can genuinely turn challenging moments into opportunities for connection, for growth. The parenting expert L.R. Nost put it really well. When little people are overwhelmed by big emotions, it's our job to share our calm, not join their chaos.
Wow, share our calm, not join their chaos.
Yeah.
That hits home, doesn't it, for anyone who's been in that spiral with a kid. So it sounds like the first step to sharing calm is managing our own reaction, right?
Absolutely. And that brings us straight to a really foundational technique, the P.A.U.S.E technique. Think of it as your mental stop button, basically, for when you feel yourself getting triggered in one of those frustrating moments.
A stop button. Okay.
Because reacting impulsively, it almost always makes things worse, escalates the situation. But responding thoughtfully, that's what builds connection.
It sounds simple, P.A.U.S.E, but I can imagine in the heat of the moment, it's probably anything but simple to actually do. So what does it stand for? How does it, guide us through that moment?
Right. The acronym is the guide. First, P is for pause. The second you feel that trigger, that surge of anger or frustration, you just stop. Don't act, don't speak. And this isn't just waiting, it's a deliberate disruption. Dr. Dan Siegel calls it a profoundly empowering act.
Empowering? How so?
Well, here's the interesting brain science bit. When we're triggered, our primal fight or flight response kicks in, right? It often overrides our rational thinking. This pause literally gives our prefrontal cortex, the logical, thoughtful part of our brain, a crucial window to catch up and regain some control. That's the biological shift happening.
That's huge. You're actually giving your thinking brain a chance. Okay, so P is pause. What's next?
Next is A for acknowledge. First, notice what you're feeling in your body. Maybe internally name it. Okay, I am feeling really angry, or I feel overwhelmed right now. Then, and this is key, acknowledge your child's experience. Validate their emotions, even if you don't agree with the behavior that sparked them.
Acknowledge their feelings, even if they're screaming about wanting more TV.
Exactly. As Dr. Laura Markham puts it, when we acknowledge our child's feelings, we let them know that we see them. It's about validation.
Okay, pause, acknowledge. Then you.
U is for understand. This is where we try to understand the root cause behind their behavior. It's not always easy, especially when things are heated, but maybe asking some open-ended questions later, or just considering other factors, are they tired, hungry, overwhelmed, can give you deeper insight. Parenting coach Naomi Aldort suggests that when we really try to understand, we often see misbehavior isn't a personal attack, but more like a cry for connection, or help, or maybe just a sense of control.
Yeah, shifting from why are they doing this to me to what's going on for them.
Precisely that shift. Then comes S for sympathize. This means offering genuine compassion, empathy, kindness. It doesn't mean you condone hitting or yelling, but you acknowledge that if you were in their small shoes, feeling that big feeling, you might struggle too.
Stepping into their shoes, like Brené Brown talks about.
Exactly. Empathy. And finally, E is for engage.
Engage. So how do we do that?
This means responding thoughtfully, in a way that meets their underlying need, maybe, and fosters connection. It could be a hug, it could be a calm conversation later to work through it. Or sometimes it's just about making them feel safe and loved amidst the storm. Dr. Shafali Sabri talks about creating an environment where they feel seen, heard, and valued.
Okay, let's take that example. Child screams, "I hate you," because the
Yeah.
TV went off. Super relatable, sadly. Our gut reaction might be to yell back
Right.
or get defensive.
The P.A.U.S.E approach changes that.
So instead, you'd pause,
Yeah.
take that breath, acknowledge, wow, I can hear you're really, really angry right now. It's so frustrating when screen time is over.
Mm-hmm. You validate the feeling.
Then maybe understand, sympathize a bit. It's hard to stop fun things. Then engage. The rule is still no more TV today. Let's take some breaths together and then figure out what we can do next.
Exactly. You see how that changes the whole interaction? It moves you from that reactive, overwhelmed state to something more thoughtful, more intentional.
It completely interrupts that downward spiral.
And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Your brain literally rewires.
Okay, so P.A.U.S.E helps us manage our own initial reaction. Huge first step. But once we've created that space, the next crucial part seems to be truly hearing our kids. We talk about listening, but mindful listening sounds like more than just not talking.
Oh, absolutely more. It's giving your child your complete undivided presence, putting on the phone, that's a big one, making eye contact, really focusing on what they're saying, both their words and, importantly, the emotions underneath those words.
Right, and resisting that urge to jump in and fix it.
Yes. That's often the hardest part for parents, isn't it? We want to solve the problem.
Yeah.
But mindful listening is more about receiving, understanding.
It reminds me of that Thich Nhat Hanh quote, "The most precious gift we can offer others is our presence."
Exactly. And this kind of listening, it's a game changer. Why? Well, first, it forges connection and trust, like deep trust. When kids feel truly heard, they feel seen, valued, respected. Second, it can actually reduce power struggles. So much misbehavior, tantrums. It's often just a clumsy way to communicate an unmet need or big feeling.
So validating the feeling can calm things down?
It often does. Just saying, wow, I see you're really mad, playtime is over, can soothe their nervous system.
Yeah.
And third, you're modeling essential life skills. You're basically giving them a masterclass in emotional intelligence, how to communicate, empathize, resolve conflict.
It's like Stephen Covey said, most people listen to reply, not to understand.
Spot on. We're aiming for understanding here.
So practically speaking, in the middle of dinner prep or morning rush, how do we do this mindful listening?
It's about small, conscious actions. First, pause and pivot. If you can, stop what you're doing, even for a moment. Turn towards them. Second, get on their level, especially with younger kids. Kneeling down or sitting with them creates a sense of connection.
Makes sense. Eye contact.
Third, listen with more than your ears. Pay attention to their body language, their tone, their energy. What's the whole message? Fourth, and this is tough, tame the fix-it impulse. Just receive, resist interrupting or giving advice right away.
Just listen. Yeah.
And finally, reflect and validate. Use open-ended phrases. It sounds like you felt really lonely when it, or so you were feeling frustrated because...
That example you gave, instead of nodding while washing dishes as your kid talks about school, you stop, kneel down. Tell me more about that. It sounds like that was really confusing for you. Then
Yeah.
reflect. So it made you feel sad when she didn't want to play.
Yes. See the difference? It completely changes the quality of that interaction.
It really does.
And speaking of changing things, another key technique is about shifting how we fundamentally see our children. It's about trying to see them with fresh eyes each day, letting go of our preconceived ideas or labels.
Ah, the labels. We all do it, don't we? He's the shy one. She's so stubborn. He's my picky eater. We get stuck in that expert trap, seeing them through the filter of yesterday's behavior or our worries about tomorrow. It kind of stops us from being curious about who they are today.
Exactly. And that's where this concept from Zen Buddhism, Shoshin, or beginner's mind, is so helpful. Shunryu Suzuki famously said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few."
Fewer possibilities, because we think we already know.
Right. Beginner's mind asks us to intentionally set aside our expertise about our child. Look at them with curiosity, almost like you're meeting them for the first time. What might you notice then?
Okay, intriguing. How does that play out day to day? What does beginner's mind look like in practice?
Well, one way is the curious pause. Before reacting to, say, a slammed door, ask yourself, okay, wait, what's the story my child might be telling with this behavior? Maybe it's not disrespect, maybe it's just overwhelming frustration.
Shifting from judgment to curiosity.
Exactly. Another tool, use the magic words, tell me more. This invites them to share their experience rather than you imposing yours. Also, try to shed the labels. Describe the behavior. Instead of "you are so messy," maybe try "hey, I see wet towels and clothes on the floor." Addresses the issue without attacking their identity.
That's a subtle but important difference.
It really is. And another beautiful practice is the welcome home gaze. When your child walks in the door, just stop for 5 seconds. Really look at them. With a soft gaze, free from whatever annoyance or stress you might be carrying from your day, just see them.
Like a mini reset for the relationship in that moment.
Precisely. It shifts things from opposition or judgment towards connection. Khalil Gibran wrote, "Your children are not your children. They come through you, but not from you." Reminds us they're their own whole people.
That welcome home gaze, I like that.
Yeah.
And the picky eater example, instead of the usual, here we go again sigh when they refuse broccoli, you get curious. I notice you're not eating the broccoli. Can you tell me about it? Is it the color, the texture, the smell?
Exactly. You might find out it's something totally unexpected, like a fear of green foods, not the taste itself. Curiosity opens doors.
So beginner's mind leads to curiosity. And building on that, it feels like we need to remember that behavior, especially challenging behavior, is communication. Tantrums, whining, defiance. They're often how kids express big feelings or unmet needs they can't yet put into words.
Absolutely. Think of the iceberg illusion. The behavior you see, the yelling, the hitting, the shutting down, that's just the tip. Underneath the surface is this huge mass of feelings. Frustration, fear, disappointment, overwhelm, loneliness. We tend to react only to that visible tip.
Yeah, that iceberg image is so true. We jump on the behavior. Why do we default to that so often? Is it just easier, faster?
It can feel faster in the moment, sure. And maybe it's how we were raised, focus on compliance. Plus, life is busy, we're often running on autopilot. But the problem is, if we only address the behavior, the underlying feeling doesn't get acknowledged or resolved. So the behavior or the feeling driving it just pops up again later, maybe in a different form.
Creates a cycle. Okay, so how do we break that cycle? How do we make that critical shift from reacting to the behavior to responding to the feeling underneath?
It starts, again, with a pause. Let's call it the sacred pause. Your child erupts. Do nothing for just 1 second. Take one deep breath. That buys you space.
Space to choose.
Exactly. Then get curious, not furious. Shift that internal question. Instead of "why are they doing this to me?" try asking "what might my child be feeling right now?" That immediately flicks you into empathy mode.
Curiosity over fury. I like that.
Then validate the feeling without condoning the behavior. This is key. Acknowledge their emotional reality. You can say something like, "Wow, you are so angry your brother took your toy. I get it. It's really frustrating when that happens."
Right.
And then you can add, "It's not okay to throw things, but I see how mad you are." You separate the feeling, valid, from the action, not okay. Connection before correction.
Connection before correction. That's powerful because, as Brene Brown says, connection comes when people feel seen, heard, valued.
Exactly. Once a child feels seen and understood, their nervous system starts to calm down. Then you can talk about solutions or better ways to handle things, but connect first.
So back to the kid melting down over the fallen block tower. Instead of, stop crying, it's just blocks. Try, oh no, you worked so hard on that tower. It's really disappointing when something you build falls apart. It's okay to feel upset.
You name the feeling, validate it.
I'm here for a hug when you're ready, and then maybe we can build an even cooler one together.
See, you validate the emotion first. Often, the intensity of the behavior dissolves when the feeling is acknowledged.
That makes so much sense. But
Yeah.
doing all this pausing, acknowledging, understanding, validating, it takes energy. It takes capacity.
It absolutely does, which leads us perfectly to the next technique, which is all about the parent. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So this technique is about checking in with yourself regularly so you actually have the internal resources to be present for your child. It's like a mini meditation you can do anytime, anywhere.
Okay, I think every parent listening just leaned in a little closer. This is the STOP technique, right? Simple word, big impact, helping us shift from reactive to responsive.
That's the one. It's your quick, in-the-moment self-care tool. It builds emotional resilience. STOP stands for S-stop. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking, just pause. Physically stop if you can. This interrupts the autopilot stress response.
Just stop. Okay.
D, take a breath. 1, 2, or 3 slow, deliberate breaths. Feel the air come in and go out. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It signals safety to your brain. Thich Nhat Hanh called conscious breathing his anchor.
Breathe. Got it. STO.
Oh, observe. Notice what's happening inside you. What emotions are present? What physical sensations? Tight jaw, racing heart. What thoughts are swirling? And also observe what's happening outside you. the actual situation, but try to do it without judgment. Just notice, this is that space Viktor Frankl talked about. Between stimulus and response, there is a space.
That space to choose.
Exactly.
Right.
And in that space, after observing, comes P, proceed. Only now, having stopped, taken a breath, and observed, do you proceed. You proceed with more intention, more clarity. Maybe that means kneeling down to talk to your child. Maybe it means saying, I need a minute, and taking care of yourself first.
Wow. So picture this. Kids are fighting, dogs barking, dinner's burning, the usual chaos. Instead of just exploding, you try. S. Stop stirring the pot. Take one really deep, audible breath. O. Mentally scan. Okay, heart's racing, jaws tight, feeling totally overwhelmed. Kitchen is a mess.
Just noticing.
P. Proceed. Okay, first turn off the stove. Then deep breath. Kids, I need you to go to separate corners for 5 minutes while I sort this out. That whole sequence might take, what, 10 seconds?
Maybe 15 seconds max.
Yeah.
But it completely changes your internal state and how you then handle the situation. It's not about finding huge chunks of time. It's about using these micro moments.
And by doing that, you're modeling emotional regulation for your kids too.
Absolutely. And reducing your own stress, strengthening the connection because you're responding, not just reacting out of overwhelm.
Okay, this is all incredibly helpful. But let's be real. We're human. We will mess up. We will lose our temper sometimes. We'll say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So mindful parenting isn't about never making mistakes, is it? It must be about what happens after we mess up.
That's exactly right. It's not about perfection. It's about repair. And that's where the final technique comes in. Embracing imperfection with self-compassion. Self-compassion is absolutely crucial. It means treating yourself with the same warmth, kindness, and understanding you'd offer a dear friend who is having a hard time.
Easier said than done sometimes, especially when you feel like you've really failed as a parent in that moment.
Oh, for sure. Dr. Kristen Neff, who's done amazing research on this, breaks self-compassion down into 3 parts. 1 is self-kindness versus self-judgment. 2 is common humanity, realizing that suffering and imperfection are part of the shared human experience. You're not alone in struggling. And 3 is mindfulness, observing your negative thoughts and feelings without getting totally swept away by them. Like she says, giving ourselves the same kindness we'd give a good friend.
What idea of common humanity? Knowing you're not the only parent who yelled today. That can be really comforting because that perfect parent myth, especially the one we see on social media, it's so damaging, isn't it? It just leads to burnout and feeling constantly inadequate.
Totally. Brene Brown calls perfectionism that 20-ton shield we carry, thinking it protects us, but it actually prevents us from connecting and being real.
So how do we actually practice self-compassion when we're feeling that guilt or shame after messing up?
Well, you can actually use the STOP method again, but turn it inward. Stop the self-criticism, take a breath. Observe the difficult feeling without judgment. Then proceed with kindness towards yourself. Another practice is the self-compassion break. When you feel that wave of, I'm a terrible parent, wash over you, try putting a hand over your heart, take a breath, and silently offer yourself these phrases. This is a moment of suffering, acknowledging the pain. Suffering is part of life. Other parents feel this way too. Common humanity. May I be kind to myself in this moment.
Self-kindness.
Just acknowledging the feeling and offering kindness.
It can make a huge difference. Also, adopting a good enough mantra can help. Remember D.W. Winnicott's idea of the good enough mother? He argued kids actually benefit from parents who aren't perfect because it helps them build resilience.
Right, they learn the world isn't perfect and they can handle it.
Exactly. So maybe a mantra like, I'm a good enough parent, or simply progress, not perfection, can help shift that internal critic.
And maybe the most powerful thing is actually modeling this for our kids. I think so. When they see you make a mistake, genuinely apologize, and then treat yourself with kindness afterwards. They learn that it's okay to be imperfect. They learn about repair. P.A.U.S.E said, the way we talk to our children becomes their inner voice. Well, the way we talk to ourselves models their future inner voice too.
That's a profound thought. So if you yelled about the messy room and feel awful, instead of stewing in guilt or pretending it didn't happen, you go to your child later and say, hey, I need to apologize. I was really frustrated about the mess, but yelling wasn't okay. My big feelings got the better of me, and that's not your fault. I'm going to try to take a breath next time. I love you.
Exactly. That repairs the connection. It shows vulnerability. It teaches them that relationships can weather mistakes. It's incredibly powerful modeling.
Wow. Okay. So much good stuff here.
Ultimately, the goal isn't perfection. It's progress. It's about nurturing a whole human being, a soul, not just managing behavior.
Yeah, this deep dive really highlighted how even these small moments of mindfulness, a pause, a breath, truly listening, can deepen connection and honestly reduce our own stress too.
So we've covered 6 really powerful techniques today. P.A.U.S.E for reactivity, listening with full attention, seeing your child with that beginner's mind.
Responding to feelings, not just behavior, using STOP for our own self care, and embracing imperfection with self compassion.
Quite a toolkit. The key, really, for anyone listening is not to feel overwhelmed, but maybe just pick one technique, just one thing to focus on practicing this week.
Start small. Progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And the provocative thought we want to leave you mulling over is this. How might embracing your own imperfection, owning your mistakes, and modeling self-compassion for your children, how might that be the most powerful act of love you can offer them? Fostering not just their emotional intelligence, but their deep sense of safety and belonging in a world that, let's face it, will never be perfect.
Something to definitely think about. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it sparks some new insights and maybe encourages a journey towards a little more calm connection and growth in your family life.